All right, we're going to talk a little new baits. So every year we come out with a couple new baits, right? I don't know where my box of them is, but like this year, and there's always new baits. Some of the baits I throw a lot, some of the baits I don't throw at all. Obviously, this is one of the new ones, are the Hardliner 35s. Okay, that's what they are. Hardliner 35. It's basically, it's another crankbait. Of course, I got them right here by the Gravel Dogs. Gravel Dogs kind of came out, I think it was last year, 2 years ago. I've got those, and then I've got these, the Spotlight Shimmy Minnows, and the Tumbleweeds. And the Fluoro Underspin. So we have a lot of baits that come out every year. SKUs of different things, but I don't always order them. And so what I don't order, I don't know. I know I'm going to use some of these. So I know for sure I'm going to use this. I've been using this. I helped a lot. Like we designed this one for hover rigging and certain different things. It's got the sonic coat. And then the tumbleweed, I wasn't really this big tumbleweed guy. I didn't see the allure of it, I'll be honest with you. That whole dice bait thing, I still don't. I'm hearing that people are catching tons of fish on it and stuff. I don't know, man. I'm still messing around with it. I can catch some fish on it. It hasn't been, I don't get it. Guys are like crushing them on it. And so I'm doing something wrong on it, but whatever. I'll figure it out eventually. The Hardliner, like I was growing up a crankbait guy, right? So I mean, look at this. You can tell. I have me some crankbaits. Obviously, I had a lot to do with the Hybrid Hunter. I had a lot to do with the Gravel Dog. I didn't have anything to do with the Hardliner 35, but I did like it. I didn't have anything to do with it because this was mainly a grass thing. This was something that we were trying to fix, an old bait we had, and then I did kind of I like the wiggle wart stuff. Wanted something that was in that wiggle wart kind of area. We kind of killed two birds with one stone with it. So when I set out with this thing to make that, and I've done videos on that whole video, it kind of took off. We were going to fix a bait, and then all of a sudden I started catching them on this random thing that I put together out on the lake. And I was catching fish while I was trying to see if it would run right. And I'm like, well, that's not normal. So anyways, that's how the Gravel Dog kind of came. This was more to get this cold water crankbait is what it was. We wanted a very slim crankbait that ran a certain style that you could fish in very, very, very cold water. They didn't have a lot of action. What I mean by didn't have a lot of action, this, tons of action. Now I catch them in cold water. I know some guys catch them in 40-degree water all the time with that. This, a lot of action. So we had that. They had a flat-sided crankbait and some things like that, but this was different. So anyways, they got this. I knew I was going to use it because that's a part, even though I'm not a part of that cold water deal. And what I mean by that, I live down here in Texas. We don't get a ton of lakes where we throw a lot of cold water crankbaits. And we have a lot of grass down here, so it kind of negates that. Now, doesn't mean I didn't grow up. I grew up specifically throwing on Livingston. My first ever fish I caught on a crankbait ever in my entire life was on a Lure Jensen speed trap. Okay? Love that bait. A guy named Mark Malone, which was funny. We texted each other a couple days ago. He was the first guy I ever fished tournaments with. He was going down the bank in his boat, saw me, little kid off the bank fishing, and threw me a Fire Tiger Lure Jensen speed trap. I caught some fish on it, caught a bunch, and then I ended up catching like a 35-pound Appaloosa cat from the bank. And then I had pictures of that, and then that's how I ended up meeting Ken Seifert, who was the Lure Jet sales rep, all kinds of stuff, right? I mean, a lot of things went my way when I was a little kid, just kind of meeting some people and the fishing. So Lure Jensen was that speed trap I loved, made a ton of money off of it. I also threw a Bandit 200. And so I've done a little videos. There was one color in particular that Hales tackled down here in Nacogdoches. I just saw it in there one day. I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, it's just this random weird color that they made I don't know if it was out of California or I don't know. He had to really special order it for me. Made a ton of money off that. I still got some. So those 2 crankbaits are what I threw 99% of the time on Livingston. Those 2. So I never really grew up throwing square bills or anything like that. It was those 2 crankbaits. I threw them in docks. I threw them around stuff, whatever. So I kind of remember I grew up throwing a smaller crankbait. Now you look at me and it's like if I'm throwing a crankbait, it's 6XD, 8XD, hybrid hunter, throw some 5XDs. I like a 4.0, right? Like all bigger crankbaits. I don't shallow crank that much, like rock and things like that. But I did get this Hardliner 35 is something I wanted. I'm like, I'm going to use that. So I instantly saw this color. This is a no-brainer color for me. I'm like, oh, that's going to work. So this weekend, I took it up north the other day and caught a couple fish on it, caught a smallmouth on it, caught some stuff. I'm like, okay, it's going to work. When you grow up fishing a certain way, like I remember my first crankbait rod was a 6'3" rod that I could flip. I could flip in boat docks. When everyone was flipping worms, I was flipping crankbaits. And I was flipping very light crankbaits. I was like, God, 6'3". That's insane that's the kind how short of a rod I was flipping back then with a crankbait, but I thought it was normal. Heck, a 7-foot rod back then was, I remember I had an all-star rod. It was a 7-foot Tom Mann Jr., and that was my longest rod. And now, like on the front deck of my boat, I don't have a single rod that's 7 foot. They're all 7. If I just look around, I mean, everything here is over 7 foot. It's at least 7.2. It's probably 7.2. 7.2. I'm guessing 7.2 might be my smallest rod, but probably 7.3. You just grow up fishing a certain way, and it was easier with the smaller, lighter rod, and I was used to a small crankbait. Now I'm used to these bigger crankbaits. I catch a lot bigger fish. We're fishing differently, cast longer, all get deeper, all kinds of stuff. But I was like, okay, let me throw this little crankbait around. I liked it. I was shocked about the vibration of it, like the thump of it. Now, I say that in the sense of it doesn't move. It doesn't have this. It's very tight, but it's a very good thumping tight. I was shocked about that. I'm like, oh, I can feel this thing. Like I can feel this. Like I want my crankbait. I want to feel my crankbait. I want to feel every bait. I want to feel it. I like the vibration of a thunder cricket. I like the vibration of a spinnerbait. I like the vibration of my hybrid hunter. All this stuff. And I'm also looking at my spinnerbait because my son was throwing it the other day. Look at the head of that thing. Look at that. I'm just laughing because we were fishing off the bank and there's concrete there. And I'm like, he hit that concrete a bunch. It doesn't matter. It didn't hurt that spinnerbait at all. It's just funny to me. I hadn't looked at it. I gave him this spinnerbait and he wanted to go down to the marina and we fished, right? And so I fished behind him and I caught 2, down there on that marina. And one of them, they both came on this thing behind him. The next morning when we went down there, I said, all right, you can throw that thunder cricket. I don't care if you lose it. Because he was like, I don't want to throw something that's going to get hung up. I'm like, well, spinnerbait's least likely to get hung up. Thunder cricket's the second, less likely. He didn't lose either one of them. He did good. And I just kept on throwing the Hardliner 35. I hooked another big one. I didn't get a picture of it. It's a big one. Got it in. So I was like, all right, this thing kind of caught some fish. Obviously, he threw all that. I kind of messed around with some of those baits too. Never caught another fish, only on the Hardliner 35. It's going to be a good bait. It's going to be a very good bait for exactly what it was meant to do. And that's kind of, when we make baits, sometimes we make good baits, and I don't really care. Sometimes we make baits that just are fish catchers. That's the only kind of bait I want. I don't care about anything else. Every once in a while, we make a bait for a specific reason. The shallow hybrid hunter was made for a specific reason. There was a time of the year, this is now, when the grass grows higher, the lakes draw down, and then, like I was out there the other day, and there's ducks on these lakes. So the ducks sometimes eat the grass, and the grass that was matted or once was matted and now you can fish over it. You still can't fish over it very much because it's not like they ate 3 foot down. It's only a foot down. Well, there were so many times that we needed a shallower hybrid hunter so we could still reel it fast and cover that water that pretty much no one ever throws unless you throw a top water over. And so we were able to make that. And then we found out there were some other times of the year we start, like that next spring, I used it and there were like some 40, 50 fish days on it. And I was going, oh, we can use it now too. Oh, this is awesome. And I'm starting to find other scenarios which I can use it. They made this, in my opinion, specifically for that cold water. Now, I went out there the other day. Water's like 60-something degrees. And caught fish on it on Livingston. They were freaking crushing it because I knew it was going to work. Like, that's this kind of stuff it worked for. So, yeah, it's one of those baits that's going to catch fish. It's made for a specific reason, like really to shine in cold weather, that water where it's like they're still shallow, they're in like 4 foot or less, and you need something subtle but deadly. So anyways, this is it. I've got it for me right now on this 3XD rod, okay, which is a 7'3" power medium, action medium, fast. And honestly, I think I've got it on 16-pound sniper, okay, with just a regular cranking reel. Okay, that's my Custom Pro. And look at how beat up it is. That's because that's how old it is. You know, what is that? I think that's a 6/8-1. So that's my setup. I wanted to talk a little bit about that bait, and that bait is going to be, that's what it's for. So if you don't know why we made, I'm glad that Strike King's still making new crankbaits. Like, we're still making new crankbaits. I'm not saying we make one every year, but I'm glad it's just not all minnow style baits, right? We made some minnow style baits, some other, some things, but I don't want to get away from this kind of fishing because here's why. I was on the bank. My son was on the bank. A lot of y'all, like, we just, like, I didn't want to bring my boat down there. I'm at where I grew up. I'm at my mom's house, and yeah, I just wanted to go down to the bank, and just me and him, my son, just went down there just to goof around, show him how to fish, and he loved it because when he's on the boat, he's confined to me and what I'm doing. When he gets out on the bank by himself, he can just go. He's getting to that age. He's 11, but now he's got that independence in him, right? So he can walk around and cast where he wants to and do what he wants to, and he's not sitting there like being like, hey, don't do this, don't do that, hey, throw that. He was worried about messing things up. I'm like, dude, if you lose a bait, no big deal. The only reason I was like, hey, try not to lose one, because I didn't bring any extras. And I was like, if you lose one, it's not a big deal. If you throw it against something and hit something, you're not going to hurt anything. Like, stop worrying about it. Just go fish. Don't sweat anything. So he had a blast. We're going to go back out there and go crush him again. I will probably put on a swim jig because we're going to probably catch him on that. Maybe a thunder cricket. I threw a thunder cricket out there the other day. It wasn't that good. But they'll probably catch that in the hybrid hunter. But I really want to tie the swim jig on for him because my new rod's coming out. I want him to throw my new rod. And I was throwing my new rod out there. So I got 2 new rods coming out. A little birdie just told me that they might be coming out sooner than I thought. Everyone's been asking about that. I don't want to give that up just right away. They might be coming out a lot sooner. Just saying. Hardliner 35. It's a cool little crankbait. Just pick one up. Mike Russell, the guy who paints them. These are the color. I guess I ordered these colors, and then what is that? It's 5 colors, and then that 6th color. And because I know I'm gonna throw that, I needed some red ones and some other ones for that colder water. But I knew that color right now for what I like to do, because we're so shad based sometimes. I knew that color was gonna be the deal. So I'll leave all that in the description of the rod, line, bait, links all to Tackle Warehouse. So anyways, I tried to video this. I was going to bring my camera. I forgot the camera that I kind of used right here, but I still got a picture or two, when I didn't want to sit there and like try to go find my phone when I was just fishing. My mom happened to drive down there at the right time when I caught that one fish. And I was like, hey, take a picture. It's a pretty cool picture to catch. on that bait. The other ones, I took them and let him go. And I tried to get it on video. I wasn't too upset, man. It was kind of just me and my son fishing, you know. Everything doesn't have to be a video, but that is the new bait. Check those out. They're gonna be fish catchers. Everyone's loving them so far. I think my buddy. Oh, I got a picture. My buddy, who is one of the engineers for Strike King, he caught a 7-1. I got a picture of it. So he caught this the other day. I don't know what lake it was, somewhere in Oklahoma. But yeah, it's catching some big ones. So anyways, check them out. See y'all.